When the doors of Jefferson High School swung open that Monday morning, every head turned. A new girl had arrived, tall, confident, with skin like deep mahogany and eyes that held both warmth and fire. Her name was Aaliyah Jackson. She had just transferred from Atlanta. Her mom got a new job, and Aaliyah was starting fresh. She walked through the halls, clutching her notebook, ignoring the whispers. "Who's she? She looks tough, but she won't last a week here." Jefferson High wasn't kind to newcomers, especially not to anyone who stood out. And Aaliyah? She definitely stood out. She didn't try to impress anyone. She sat alone in class, did her work quietly, and didn't react when kids giggled behind her back. But what no one knew, not yet, was that Aaliyah wasn't the kind of girl you could push around. Part 2, The Bully. Enter Jason Miller, captain of the wrestling team, self-proclaimed king of the school. He was used to people laughing at his jokes and moving out of his way. But when he saw Aaliyah sitting alone at lunch, refusing to look up, he didn't like it. He slammed his tray next to hers. "Hey, new girl, you too good to talk to people." Aaliyah didn't answer. She calmly picked up her fork and continued eating. Jason smirked. "Oh, I get it. You think you're special. Still nothing." That silence? It was like fuel on fire. Jason hated being ignored. He leaned closer. "I said." Aaliyah finally looked up. Her voice was calm, almost quiet. "Jason, right? I heard about you. You spend more time bullying people than actually passing classes." The cafeteria went dead silent. A few students gasped. Jason's jaw tightened. No one ever talked to him like that. Part 3, The Confrontation. Jason's hand twitched. "Say that again," he growled. Aaliyah's eyes didn't flinch. "You heard me." He grabbed her wrist hard. "Apologize." But what happened next? No one expected. Aaliyah didn't scream. She didn't pull away. Instead, she twisted her body slightly, a small, quick motion, and in a second, Jason's arm was behind his back. The sound echoed. Thud! Jason was on the floor, eyes wide, clutching his arm. The entire cafeteria froze. Aaliyah stood, calm as ever, her tray still perfectly balanced in her hand. She said quietly, "You should never grab someone without their permission." Gasps. Whispers. Phones recording. Jason, the school's biggest bully, was sitting on the floor, humiliated, eyes watery with pain. Part 4. The Truth About Aaliyah. That moment went viral in minutes. Someone uploaded the clip online. New girl drops school bully in seconds. Teachers were furious, not at Aaliyah, but at Jason, because security footage showed everything. But the real surprise came later that day, when Coach Ramirez called Aaliyah to his office. "Where'd you learn that move?" he asked. Aaliyah shrugged. "My dad used to teach self-defense. He was in the Army." Ramirez smiled. "You ever think about joining the girls' martial arts team?" Aaliyah smiled for the first time that day. "Maybe." Part 5. The Lesson. Jason didn't come to school for 2 days. When he finally did, everyone stared, not in fear but pity. He walked up to Aaliyah in the hallway, his head low. "Hey, about what happened," he muttered. "I was out of line." "I'm sorry." Aaliyah nodded. "I know. Just be better next time." And she walked away. From that day on, Jason stopped picking on people. He joined the self-defense club, the same one Aaliyah trained in. And slowly, he learned something he'd never known before. Real strength isn't about hurting people. It's about protecting them. Part 6. The Moral. The narrator closes. Sometimes life sends us people who don't fight back with anger. They fight back with discipline, respect, and self-control. Aaliyah didn't just teach a bully a lesson. She reminded everyone watching that quiet strength speaks louder than any punch ever could. Part 7. The Fallout. The following morning, Jefferson High buzzed like a hornet's nest. Everyone had seen the video. Students whispered about it in the halls. Teachers tried to keep order, and even the principal had called an emergency staff meeting. Aaliyah sat in homeroom, trying to focus on her notes, but she could feel the eyes on her. Some glances were respectful, others curious. "Hey, Aaliyah," whispered a girl next to her. Maya, soft-spoken and shy. "That thing you did yesterday, that was insane. You really took him down." Aaliyah smiled slightly. "I didn't want to. He gave me no choice." Maya nodded. "Still, thank you." Jason used to mess with me too. For the first time, Aaliyah felt something she hadn't in weeks, belonging. At lunch, she noticed the same table where it all happened. Jason wasn't there. His friend sat quietly, avoiding her gaze. It felt strange. She hadn't meant to embarrass him, only stop him. But life had a way of turning moments of strength into legends. Part 8. Jason's Change. Jason sat alone in the locker room, staring at his reflection. His wrist still ached, wrapped in an elastic bandage. But what hurt more was the humiliation. All his life, Jason had been told that strength came from dominance, from being feared. But when that girl, smaller than him, had flipped him like it was nothing, it shattered everything he thought he knew. Coach Ramirez walked in. "You planning to quit the team, son?" Jason looked down. "Maybe. What's the point? Everyone saw me get beat by a girl." Ramirez crossed his arms. "You got beat by discipline. That's what happens when anger meets training." He paused. "You know, the self-defense club's looking for new recruits. Might be worth learning something new." Jason frowned, then nodded slowly. "Maybe I should." Part 9. The Rematch and Redemption. Weeks passed. Rumors died down. Exams came and went. But one afternoon, something unexpected happened. Coach Ramirez organized a small demonstration for the self-defense club, open to the whole school. Students gathered in the gym, curious. Jason stepped onto the mat, wearing the same uniform as everyone else. Across from him stood Aaliyah, calm, confident, smiling slightly. "Today," said Coach, "we show that strength isn't about hurting others. It's about respect." Jason took a deep breath. "Aaliyah," he said softly, "thanks for teaching me that the hard way." She nodded. "Ready." They began to spar, gentle, controlled, focused. This time, there was no anger. When the match ended, Jason bowed first. Then Aaliyah bowed back. The crowd clapped, not because someone won, but because both of them did. Part 10. The Legacy. By the end of the year, something amazing had happened at Jefferson High. The cafeteria, once a place of gossip and bullying, became a space of laughter and unity. A new banner hung near the gym. "Strength is respect." Jason and Aaliyah co-captained the self-defense team. They even started weekend classes for younger students who'd been bullied. One afternoon, Aaliyah's mom came to watch a class. As she saw her daughter teaching others, she whispered, "Your father would be proud." Aaliyah smiled softly. "He always said, don't fight to prove you're strong. Fight to prove what's right." And with that, the narrator's voice closes the story. Aaliyah didn't just defend herself that day in the cafeteria. She changed an entire school's heart. Because sometimes the quietest warriors create the loudest change.